As the early morning mist cleared, the small hamlet came into view. This would be the third settlement in as many days. So far the Skaven host had gone unchecked, wreaking terror amongst the peasantry of Canals. The Skaven host would go unchecked no longer. Baldwin V had arrived at the head of a Bretonnian force. As the Skaven host advanced in the distance, Baldwin V and his knights dismounted, knelt, and began to pray. This gave the initiative to the Skaven, but the Bretonnians had faith that the lady would carry this day. The clan rats on the Skaven, left flank eager to pillage, burn, and enslave, must not have seen the Bretonnian host arrive, as they pushed far ahead of their verminous comrades. The Skaven chieftain and his storm vermin advanced more cautiously, using the woods as a buffer. As the vermin advanced, their catapult unleashed a volley of pure contagion, but the crude machine's shot missed completely. Meanwhile, the other two units of knights advanced, ready to counter-charge. The peasants in the tower loosed their arrows towards the storm vermin, but their shots fell short of their target, landing in the woods. The Grail knights made short work of the clan rats, cutting down 4 of the vermin, but receiving a casualty in return. The remaining clan rats fled, but the knights pursued, caught, and destroyed them. In reply, the rat ogres made a long-bomb charge into the knights on the Skaven right flank. But the knights had time to react and countercharge them, wounding a rat ogre twice. The rat ogres dealt a fury of blows to the knights of the realm, but the Bretonnian armor took most of the damage and only 1 knight fell. Under the stern eyes of the Skaven chieftain, the rat ogres held after narrowly losing the combat. The plague claw catapult misfired and was unable to fire this turn only, and the storm vermin reformed to face the Grail knights. This turn, both unengaged units of knights maneuvered to countercharge the storm vermin. The peasants in the tower again fired at the storm vermin. This time one of them found their mark and killed one. With the Grail knights so close and the storm vermin so many, the Skaven chieftain ordered the charge. The Grail knights could only hold as the storm vermin crashed into them. At this moment the chieftain drew his fell blade and cleaved 3 of the knights into half. To my surprise, the Grail knights did nothing in reply and promptly fled, with the chieftain and his bodyguard running them down. The lady did not protect. This also moved the storm vermin out of the charge arc of Baldwin and his knights. Baldwin and his retinue spurred their horses forward, nonetheless charging into the rat ogres, who were slowly grinding through another unit of knights. The peasants again felled another storm vermin from the refuge of the tower. In the combat phase, the rat ogres get destroyed by the combined might of Baldwin, his retinue, and the already engaged knights. This turn the storm vermin reformed to face the remaining knights, and the plague claw catapult finally hit and killed a knight of the realm champion. Baldwin reformed his battle line to deal with the chieftain and his bodyguard, and the bowman fired a volley into the storm vermin with no effect. The Skaven turn was rather uneventful, with the storm vermin holding position and the catapult misfiring. In the Bretonnian turn, both units of knights successfully charged the storm vermin. Baldwin V issues a challenge and the chieftain accepts. Baldwin levels his lance as he charges at the chieftain and skewers the rat through his chest. As the chieftain's lifeless body hits the floor, several of the storm vermin meet a similar fate at the hands of the knights of the realm, with no damage taken in return. Unbelievably, the storm vermin hold defiant to the last. And so the battle draws to a close. It's a narrow victory to Baldwin and the Bretonnians. For the lady and for Bretonnia.